Hello and welcome to another Positively Sports Media NFL Picks podcast. It's your boy Joe here with my brother, partner in crime, Zachary. How we doing, Zach?
Hello. We're doing fantastic. It's a beautiful Friday here in Southern California. So, yeah, nothing to complain about here.
Doing these on a Friday means we're missing some Thursday games. Maybe we'll start doing them on a Wednesday or Thursday, but for now, we're picking Sundays and Mondays. Last week, we picked 15 games, went 11-4 against the spread. That's pretty impressive.
11-4.
So if you were betting with us last week, and I did put down a couple of those bets, including the Buccaneers one was my big one, you'd be winning money.
That's right. Lots of money.
So maybe take this down to the Green Valley Ranch and hit up that William Penn Sportsbook or whatever. You know?
Yeah, pull out your notebooks, take some notes here.
You're
not going to want to miss this.
Put your money where our mouths are.
That's right.
11-4 last week.
11-4.
I think we had a winning record week one, so this is a winning podcast.
It's a winning podcast officially.
And we're going to continue to win this week on the NFL. Let's get started.
I think we're going for, 12-3?
12-3 would be great.
Yeah.
No pushes last week is insane.
No pushes.
That's actually hard to do.
Yeah. Especially with the line.
We're seeing the board right now. We're seeing the pitches. They're throwing fastballs. We're seeing them. We're on it. And this week will be no different. Starting off in the morning games, let's talk Falcons. Panthers. I was getting my birds confused. This week, we have 5 backup quarterbacks starting in the NFL. Only 3 weeks into the season, and we're missing J.J. McCarthy. We're missing Joe Burrow. We're missing Jaden Daniels. We're missing Brock Purdy.
Oh, my gosh.
There's one more I'm forgetting, but we're missing him.
Yeah.
I'll remember. Don't worry.
You'll remember.
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. That's right.
We don't care. They're not playing, but we still are. So let's talk. Falcons-Panthers is our first game of the week. Maybe we'll pull up so we can see last week's results as we're going.
Okay.
But real quick, so this is going to be, I looked up real quick, has Bryce Young beaten his division rivals, the Falcons, yet in his career? And the answer is yes, he's actually 2-1 against the Falcons. He beat the Falcons in his first rookie year. It was one of his very few wins. It was towards the end of the season against, who was it there? One of the bad Falcons, Desmond Ritter.
Yeah.
That was an ugly time to be a Falcon.
Bad time.
They were wasting Bijan at that time. People were still upset about Kyle Pitts back then.
Still are.
And then last year, if we remember, at the end of the season, everyone had good vibes about Bryce Young. And one of those good vibes Bryce Young games was against the Falcons. They won in overtime. I think it was like 40-33, something like that. High-scoring game. So Bryce Young has proven that he can play well against the Atlanta Falcons late in the season. This is early in the season, and they are 4.5-point underdogs at home. The Panthers are.
So,
a lot to think about here. On paper, the Falcons are a high-powered offense. On paper, Penix to London makes sense. Penix to Pitts. Dish it off to Bijan. Hand it to Algier. Pound it.
Yeah, Algier, he went pretty crazy.
I'm a big Algier fan. I think he would be a starting running back for most other teams. Carolina, Ted McMillan has been everything we thought he would be and a little bit more, right? I think we're all pleasantly surprised. I've seen some awesome plays on the sideline. Ted getting up, making some big, strong catches. The Panthers have shown that they can move the ball. They're pretty porous on defense. They're pretty easy to get through. Easy to score points on.
Yeah. You know, what's interesting about the Panthers is I think Bryce Young and how he loves to hit that slot receiver. We saw it last year with Adam Thielen.
And
Coker, now we have Hunter Renfrow there.
Yeah.
And, you're really seeing an emergence of Hunter Renfrow where we're kind of wondering, has he always been that guy?
Hunter's always been a dog. He's had injury problems, and he's had sort of just like not a good fit problems, I feel like. But you're right that right now it feels like the Panthers have a couple of receivers and Coker is not even back yet.
Yep.
But it feels like Bryce is comfortable throwing underneath to the young man, Hunter Renfrow, and throwing on the outside. This is the first time he's had an outside receiver. You know, maybe we thought that that big fella Xavier Legette was going to be his outside receiver. That didn't really work out, in my opinion. I still don't
Hubbard
see.
Is always going to be, a solid running back there.
Hubbard's great. Their defense is just bad.
Yeah.
Last week, they were getting beat pretty bad against the Cardinals. They scored some points late to make it look closer than it was, 22-27, but they were down, I think, 27-10. They came back to cover the spread like we told you they were going to. They were 7-point underdogs. We said hammer those Panthers, and they hammered back. We did it. So Falcons last week, remind me. Let's see. I don't see it on there.
First score?
Falcons.
Oh, Falcons.
But 4.5 is close, so it's a touchdown game or 2 field goals. Falcons on the road. That's okay. We don't need it.
Where'd the Falcons go?
Where did the Falcons go? We can Google this real quick for everyone to see. The Falcons won last week against the J.J. McCarthy's ailing Vikings.
Yes.
So that was a good win. Penix only 135 yards, but Bijan rushed 22 carries for $143. Man, it's going to take a lot to slow down these Falcons. I don't know if the Panthers can do it. I think it's a similar game to last week where they lost by 5, but 5 wins this time. I don't think that this is a field goal to win it by the Falcons. I think that they're winning and that maybe the Panthers are clawing back in the fourth quarter. I feel pretty good about 4.5 here by the Falcons. What do you think? Do you think that the Panthers, any chance the Panthers at home get the good juju, get that offense going, maybe score 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, and they get kind of going? They really just need, all the Panthers need would be to see our first hiccup from Penix, our first little bit of Carson Wentz.
Stumble.
Yeah, our first fumble, ball handling issue, or a bad decision across the middle. I think it's really, we can't rely on the Falcons like punting. You have to think like we're going to need some turnovers if we're going to get this upset.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you. I think that with the Panthers defense, it's going to be pretty tough for the Falcons to lose this game, especially by a touchdown. I think they're definitely going to cover the spread.
Okay.
I feel pretty confident in that. I think the only thing is if the Panthers offense gets cooking, I think it's either going to be a high scoring game or, they're just going to take it. The Falcons are going to take it.
Okay. I'm looking here to see if Drake London is on the injury report. It does not look like he is. Darnell Mooney, full practice on Friday. A couple of receivers are out for the Falcons, Casey Washington and Jamal Agnew. I think as long as Drake London is playing, which it seems like he is, that'll probably be too much. And Darnell Mooney's great because we know the Panthers have, remember that huge one-handed pick week 1, J.C. Horn. We know that they have some good ball-hawking cornerbacks, but I think the Falcons have too many weapons. The Falcons are going to spread you out. Right when you think you got him, they're going to flip it to Bijan, and he's going to go for 60. And I feel good about Falcons 4.5.
Yep, me too.
All right, moving on. The battle of the backups. This is one where Vegas could admit, right, if they could have like their heat-o-meter here on how much confidence they have here, this is one where you could really win. You could really beat them up bad. They have the Vikings and Carson Wentz at home. KOC, Kevin O'Connell, their coach, is known as the quarterback whisperer, right? He could get my Aunt Susie out there slinging dimes in the 13 personnel.
Sure.
Against Jake Browning, who I'm a big Jake Browning guy. I think he's got a lot of moxie. I think he's kind of got a little Joe Shiesty in him.
Yeah, he's a system guy. He's very systematic, especially in the Bengals offense.
Yeah, he's been there for a while. He's confident in the system. He, it's never been a backup controversy with him. Like, they know they've been, for a couple of years, he's our guy in the backup. So he gets all those second team reps, a lot of reps in the system. He's he's like the vice president. He's one heartbeat away from being the head of the team. And that's what happened for 3 months. He's got 3 months ahead of him now to really show his stuff. I mean, could be a $50 million season for him.
It's true.
If he leads them and they go on a crazy run, he's thinking the best case scenario for him is that Burrow comes back in January, and some people are like, I don't know, man, this Browning kid's kind of slinging it.
We saw that happen with Tom Brady. It's
Tom, right? A lot of guys made a lot of money backing up Tom Brady.
Baker Mayfield, a little revival there. That was
but like back in the day, like Matt Castle, there were these dudes who, Brady missed one season with a knee injury, and Matt Castle came out and slinged it and took him to the playoffs and went and had a nice long career where he probably made $50 million being, off of that. So for me, the juju is on the side of the Bengals. The Vikings, some people are saying, are they faking this JJ injury to be like, yo, he needs a couple of weeks to sit and look at what he's done, because he played terrible for 3 quarters that first game. They had an immaculate, amazing comeback where you could maybe say the play calling was really good. That naked bootleg to win the game, remember? And JJ walked in for a touchdown. That's not his athleticism. I think any quarterback who successfully makes that fake can run in. Peyton Manning can run that in. So, and then a bad game where they got pretty handily beat last week by the Falcons. Everyone who's been watching this show knows that I put like a hex on the Vikings for what they did to Sam Darnold last year. You win 15 games and then you ship a dude off and bring in a rookie.
Crazy.
From the state of Michigan. It makes me
just
sick.
Also what they did with Cousins. I mean, they're notorious for...
Yeah, they're notorious for not having much loyalty.
Especially
every team, as a Browns fan, I can tell you, every team in football wants a franchise quarterback. And, you shipped one out the door so that you could anoint JJ as your franchise quarterback. I think it's bad juju. I think that the Bengals, it's win one for the Gipper, win one for Joe Shiesty, who's going to be in a walking boot on the sideline, probably looking cool as hell.
Probably cool as hell. His drip walking into that stadium.
That's going to help the team. That's going to help the team.
Absolutely. His team morale, it's going to be there. He'll be there in spirit for sure.
So for the bettors out there, I am going to be betting on the Bengals to win this game straight up, plus 130. There's good money there.
Yeah.
Good money there. And Vegas is scared about this one. Man, this is one where they could lose a lot of money. Okay. So we have one favorite and one underdog so far. Good balance. Green Bay Packers, Cleveland Browns. The Packers are probably the best team in football, except for the Super Bowl champion Eagles right now. But the Packers are the most improved team in football with Micah Parsons already.
Yeah.
The defense went from being kind of an afterthought to now being like one of the scariest defenses in football. They've made everyone look dumb. They have the vibes are immaculate. They're now on the road, though, in Cleveland against
On the road again.
On the road. Just can't wait to get down to Cleveland. The Browns have the best rush defense in football. The Packers have the second best rush defense in football right now. So it's a question of airing it out a little bit. Obviously, the Packers are going to win this game.
Yeah, if anyone saw last week's Browns game, you're not looking too confident. I can tell you that. I know with Flacco behind the center, that was a pretty tough game.
Yeah.
Lots of mistakes. They just couldn't execute when they needed to. And, I think that the Packers really showed us last week in week 2 that they are here to stay. They're a legit team. They have, tons and tons of weapons on that team. So, I'm going to have to say Packers.
Packers minus 7.5. To win by a touchdown and a field goal, I think is a very safe bet. I think it's a candidate for a backdoor cover, right? Like if they're up But I think they're going to be up 20.
Yeah, I think
it's
they're
really
gonna,
not.
but it is one of those things where you have to think about, right? It's like, do the Browns just do some weird
Well, so this is going to be a game.
Does Judkins just make a statement game right now, or
I'm a huge Judkins guy. Sorry. Look, last week I said if you're the Giants, do you maybe want Russell Wilson to have a bad game so that there's an excuse to get Jackson Dart in there? And Russell Wilson went on, spoiler alert, to throw for 500 yards and almost beat the Cowboys in overtime. So now it's the same thing. Do you want, if you're a Browns fan, do you want Flacco to maybe have a shitty game and get sacked 5 times by Parsons so that we can see Dylan Gabriel, who looked good in cleanup duty, 3 for 3 with a touchdown last week?
Yeah.
As a Browns fan, I expect that I will love Flacco and I want him to start, but I expect that they're going to be losing by 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and Dylan Gabriel is going to come back out and sling some balls.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
That's my prediction.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we got the Packers minus 7.5. That feels like it feels so safe that it's concerning, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it feels
I
obvious.
Agree. I think it does. I think I would like it at 7. A little bit more, but 7.5 still. I think they've got it.
Right. We got to go with the numbers they're giving us right here.
Yeah.
Other shows that do this get the best available. They'll look on the internet at every website and get the best number. We're not doing that. We're taking
broadcasting live.
Live. No edits. No cuts.
No edits. No cuts.
The Houston Texans are playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, and this one is a head scratcher because if I told you the Houston Texans are playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, you'd probably think that the Houston Texans are big favorites. That's fine. You'd probably think that the Houston Texans are big favorites to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, seeing as Jacksonville has looked pretty ugly. And I did a deep dive on some stats. I didn't make a video, but I did look at Brian Thomas Jr. last year, right? Everyone goes, this guy's the best thing since sliced bread, BTJ. And the truth is that he had an amazing run with Mac Jones at quarterback. And when he had Trevor Lawrence at quarterback, it was never that sexy. And now we got Trevor Lawrence and BTJ from the get, and it looks pretty bad.
And you've got Mac Jones and
Mac Jones throwing the ball beautifully, looking really
Not
good.
bad.
Maybe he's a candidate for next year to be a guy if you're if you're the Miami Dolphins, let's say.
It's his Browning year. Right?
It could be his Browning year.
Are on the same page.
It could be his, like the year that Baker went to the Rams and won a game. Yeah, we'll get to Mac Jones in a minute. To me, this is a no-brainer. I've got the Texans winning this game straight up. I think that the Jags are really a bad team that had a high draft pick and then used it on, as I've said a million times, they thought they were getting 2 players and they got half of 1 player. 3 catches for 22 yards and then a really bad defensive pass interference penalty last week for Travis Hunter. I like the kid. I like him as a guy, but I just don't think, I think he's a second-round pick.
Yeah, I think anyone who plays fantasy and took him high or really took him at all, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's a roll of the dice that you're going to have to take. And unfortunately, it hasn't panned out so far. Hopefully he can eventually get it back. But, yeah, as of now, don't feel safe with him.
You're on board with me here that the Texans are probably going to win this game.
Yes.
The 0-2 Texans, and maybe that's why people are hating.
But the Texans have played Denver. No. Did they play Denver? Their week 1 was against a good team.
It was a good team. They played 2 good teams.
They played
They
us,
lost. So, yeah,
right?
They played the Rams week 1 and didn't score a touchdown, it looks like. Didn't score a touchdown. So that definitely hurts. I think they kicked 3.
But lots of turnovers that game.
Yeah, and they held the Rams to 14 points. And then they lose a heartbreaker to the Buccaneers when Baker leads a great drive.
That was crazy.
I mean, they're the best 0-2 team.
That looked good.
They're the best 0-2 team.
Yeah.
Other than maybe the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to say. I think it's a no-brainer. And again, I'm taking them plus 1.5. The fact we get 1.5 is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm going to bet that game, like the Bengals, plus money on the Texans. Straight up. Moving on to the upstart Indianapolis Colts. Who would have thought? They're like the best team in football right now. Danny Dimes, who I said was going to be the quarterback in the middle of the summer, 4.5 point favorites on the road in Nashville against the Tennessee Titans. You would like Nashville. I went down there, hung out on Broadway. It's like hillbilly Vegas. It's like
No way.
it really is. It's like Disneyland for drunk country folk. It's kind of a wild place.
Are we talking? Yeah, Nashville.
Broadway is the main street in
Lots
Nashville.
of country bars there, right?
I mean, it's everything.
It's what they're known for,
It's
right?
what they're
Yeah.
known for, and also like it's known for like all of the different artists have their own bar. See, I don't know enough country artists, but like I would just imagine like Kenny Chesney's bar is here. We did a show at Bon Jovi's bar.
The First Canes as well. Or Canes has like a huge
Canes is a
staple.
Nashville thing.
Yeah, it's got a huge staple Nashville.
I spent a week in Nashville. It was pleasantly surprising. I got bug bites on my legs that scarred and became like they've been like 3 months. They're still there. Almost saw some fireworks disasters in Nashville on the 4th of July.
I can imagine.
Okay, so the Indianapolis Colts are heading down there, though. Tennessee Titans, Cam Ward, we were talking before about that they're a bad team, but Cam Ward has shown some life. Like, there's a reason to have hope. Not that they're going to necessarily win many games or any games this year, but I think that they're building something. They're like 2 or 3 receivers away. Not sure if Tony Pollard, they would love, if they had Tyjae Spears right now, they would have a chance at being a competitive team, I think.
I think they need to figure it out with Calvin Ridley. I think they're
been
really just struggling. I just don't feel like him and Cam Ward are on the same page right now. And yeah, I really think that who's the other receiver? It's Neymar or
For the Titans.
Yeah.
Oh, they have a rookie.
He did really good last week.
A lot of the fantasy people and betting people are big on this kid. His name is Eric Aomanor.
Yes.
Aomanor. I'll learn that name eventually. They also have Chigo Okonkwo, who is a really underrated. He is a David Njoku type tight end. He's just a big physical son of a gun.
Yeah.
Who can catch a ball and run.
I've seen his name.
Yeah, Okonkwo. I would put him in like my top 5 of that type of tight end who you're comfortable putting him out in the slot and running him down the field and having him catch the ball and run. So that's a big asset for a young quarterback. That's, they, as opposed to the Jaguars, I think the Titans are kind of heading in the right direction. And if they were able to pump the ball and run it 3 times with Pollard and then take him out and run it 3 times with Spears, that was what they wanted to do. And then the Spears injury really took them by surprise, I think. Or at least it fucked up what they wanted to do. Which is how you get a young quarterback started.
Yeah.
These Colts have so many weapons. They have receivers out the wazoo. They've got Pierce and Downs. They've got Pittman Jr., they've got Warren, one of the best tight ends.
Warren, he's questionable, though.
Is he?
We'll see. Yeah, I know. I have him in a couple of my leagues, and trust me, he has been phenomenal. I think he's fantasy tight end number 4 at the moment.
Unbelievable.
Which is really impressive.
He passes the eye test. He looks amazing.
Yeah.
Danny Dimes passes the eye test, looks amazing.
Not to mention Jonathan Taylor.
John Taylor.
I mean, he looked so good, and
unbelievable.
He continues. As you mentioned last week, he just how many?
He
what was the average?
His average is I think 83 yards per game. I mean, 165 yards rushing on 25 carries is a ridiculous
Crazy.
stat. We can go back to that. This is one of my favorite Pro Football references here, and we go to career. We're gonna punch this into rush yards per game. And there you have it. He's 5th all time with 90.6 rushing yards per game. And that probably did get a little bump up there with his monster game. He's got more. I mean, when you're above Walter Payton on a list about running backs, you're fucking doing something unbelievable. And the fact that we're going to talk about John Taylor as long as this show exists. And the fact that every other show on the planet's not is kind of nuts.
Yeah. I mean, he is just a bell cow.
He is. 25 carries, like They just keep feeding. When your quarterback throws for 316 yards and your running back has 165 yards, you're a pretty fucking good team.
Against the Broncos.
Against the Broncos.
Supposedly the best team.
Yeah, they've got studs out everywhere.
The best defense.
They've got Surtain and Bonito and tons of fellas. Yeah, a highly touted defense. As a Browns fan for years, it's like they're good defenses have bad games and good offenses can get you, but I don't think that the Tennessee Titans are going to be the team that slows down these Colts. That's my 2 cents, and I'm going to look real quick I have a little sheet here. The Colts' next game after this is against the Rams right here in Los Angeles. So maybe
they're
that's
definitely going to lose that one. So
maybe that's the game when they start to show some cracks, or you start to see what's it like against a really tough defense. I've got the Colts winning that one by 10 points or more. Fair?
Fair.
All right, moving on. The Las Vegas Raiders against Marcus Mariota and the Commanders. If you're the Raiders, how happy are you that you get Mariota? Now, Mariota played 2 games last year. He was ultra efficient. He was like 18 for 23 for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's like awesome, perfect backup quarterback, veteran dude. I would take him over Wentz. I'd take him over Tyrod Taylor. I'd take him over most of the backups out there right now in the veteran category, right? They're still 3-point favorites. The Raiders they had a really hard time moving the ball last week. Was that the Chargers they played?
It was the Chargers, and Herbert looked really good. But, yeah, Raiders definitely struggled.
But they were they in that game? No, they weren't really in that game.
No,
they were down 10-3 at the end of the first quarter. They were down 17-6 at halftime. They were never in that game.
Never in that game.
3 field goals, no touchdowns for the Raiders. I'm going to come out and say it right now, and this is crazy. I know I just said that the number 2 overall pick, Travis Hunter, doesn't deserve that status. Man, I'm kind of over Ashton Genty. I kind of had questions in college. I was the first to say he was running against like the Air Force and stuff at Boise. They were not playing really big, good teams. I think Genty's a hell of an athlete. He's got amazing quickness, power. He did like lay some people out and put the shoulder down. I don't know if he's worth that top 10 pick that he got, top 5 pick. Man, the Raiders maybe are moving backwards a little bit.
Yeah.
With Geno Smith.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's impressive that their defense held them to 20 points. But I agree. I think Geno he just did not look good. He looked frustrated when he was playing.
43 passes. Similar numbers to 43 passes and 3 picks. Similar number of passes as Joe Flacco. Yep. It's like, that's not what you want. That's not what you bring the 35-plus-year-old guy in to do.
Yeah, I will say Jacoby Myers looked pretty good. He had a couple great catches. Bowers, as usual. And Thornton had 1 catch that really, was his highlight. But besides that, not a whole lot going on.
Yeah, Jacoby Myers is a trusty dude that you need to have there. If they were going to be a serious team, they would need another serious wide receiver. No Jack Beck sighting. My favorite rookie on the Raiders didn't have a catch last week. I don't know if he played. I assume he did.
And Meyer as well. I know a lot of people were hyping up Michael
Meyer.
Yeah, I mean...
And maybe that was because some people thought maybe Bowers wouldn't play.
They did.
But Meyer is a good tight end, but he is a boring white guy. He's got a little bit of boring white guy in him. No offense.
It's okay. He needs a name like Gesicki and a dance like Gesicki.
Dance like Gesicki, exactly.
As we've mentioned on this show.
I feel pretty safe about the commies -3 here. This is a game where I like that number 2 because I think this is a high push candidate. Right? Like, if it's -3, I feel okay that this game might end in a push. But more likely, I think they'll win by 13.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any chance the Raiders go to Washington and beat the Commies without Jaden Daniels?
Well, let's just break it down because No, it's not Jaden Daniels, and it's not Eckler. It's
going to be right. We're going to see
Jacoby.
the first version.
It's kind of like a newer offense.
Bill Krosky. But you're
Bill
putting
Krosky,
that
Scary
new
Terry
offense.
is always great.
And it's in the hands of a sure-handed, safe, it's like ultra-safe quarterback play from Mariota. And people forget, Mariota can tuck it down and run for 5 yards on a third down. Like, Mariota's got that dog in him. He's got a little bit of, like, a quiet Baker Mayfield in him. Like, on a third down, he will throw a dude off him and dive forward and stick his head in there for, like, he is a gamer and a winner. He played 2 games last year. They won both of them. They weren't against really good teams, but I just think Mariota's a chugger winner type of dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for me because truly I think the Raiders they have, I think, more weapons in a way as far as being in the system. I think, obviously, independently, the Commanders have more weapons, but I think, I don't know. I think
losing Eckler is a big deal for them.
Yeah, I think Eckler was just the solid running back who's going to give you.
He was
those.
old,
He's
reliable.
not going to fumble. He's not going to, make those mistakes. He's going to be, old, reliable. Jaden Daniels, stud. I mean, can't say enough good things about him. He's just really good at game management and all of it. Mariota's good, but I've also seen Mariota struggle
over the years, for sure. He played in Atlanta, I think.
He played for the Raiders, so it'll be a little vengeance game here.
Sure. I've got it clicked. I feel pretty good about that one. I would say that you'd have to really sell me on the Raiders. I mean, if it's, if the Commies put up 3 touchdowns in this whole game, I think that that's enough to win. I really do. Like, where is the points coming from? Is Genty going to have a multi-touchdown game? Maybe Bowers catches one, Myers catches one, and Genty rushes one in. But that's kind of the ceiling for what the Raiders are capable of at this point.
I think it's still a little too early, but I agree. I mean, I agree. They didn't look great last week, and it looked like they had more than just issues, with the players. It looked like more of like the coaching and I think.
And the offensive line personnel is not very good, and Gino just, even when he did have time, he was throwing over people's heads, and I trust Mariota here, much more so than a lot of other backup QBs, pretty much any other backup QB.
Yeah.
So that's I'm gonna put my stamp down on this one as we head to a rematch of what was one of my favorite games last year. That game in the snow, we were at like Buffalo Wild Wings or something, freaking out watching that game in the snow in the playoffs when the Rams really should have won that game. Played better than the Eagles, gave the Eagles the best game that they got all year, really. And these Rams look fantastic. Devontae Adams is an amazing addition. Now they're getting Blake Corum involved more, and he looked really good. I think that the Rams are a team that does everything right in like get your Blake Corum in the 2nd or 3rd round last year. Don't shove him out there too quick, right? Like, give him some time. Let Kyron Williams have an amazing season last year. And then, with some experience behind him, really unleash Corum. Stafford's got a really good, amazing grasp of that offense, obviously. But, like, they just seem like they can do anything they want at will. I feel pretty good about the Rams plus 3.5 because I do think if they lose this game, they're going to lose by 3. If they win this game, they'll probably win by 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I have the Rams as well, and I know a lot of people are going to, be against that, but at the same time, I think Philly, I think they're good, but I don't think that they're unbeatable.
No, they're not going to win every game this year. They are going to drop games, and I think if you're Philly, you want to drop some games. Like, you want to face a little adversity early in the season, have, like, a reason. You don't want to feel like you're the hottest shit in the league.
Yeah, and one thing I did want to speak on, last year, our biggest issue was plugging the hole on defense. And this year, that's exactly what we did. As you mentioned with our draft pick, we went and we got more defensive players. And then we also got Puna Ford as well from the Chargers, who is just an absolute monster. And he's really going to be the game changer, I think, that Barkley is going to struggle with. I think that's...
and I'm not sure, as we look real quick, how Saquon has done this year. Obviously, in the first game, he looked amazing. I saw he had some impressive runs, I remember. 18 attempts, 60 yards and a touchdown. 22 attempts, 88 yards and a touchdown. Averaging under 4 yards, 4 or under.
Yeah.
He hasn't had a breakout game yet.
He hasn't.
Now, in that game last year, that playoff game we're talking about, he was ridiculous. In the playoffs, he had 91 carries for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. Is an absurd statistic. But you just got to think the Rams have this game circled on the calendar. The Rams really want to go back to Philly and beat the shit out of them. And I wonder if Philly's as up for this game as LA will be. The big thing people are talking about with this game is that it is in Philadelphia, kicking off at 1 p.m. Philly time. It's 10 a.m. LA time.
Yeah. At least it's not in the snow.
At least it's not in the snow.
At least it's not in the snow. And, Sean McVay even spoke on Philly and said he was talking about Jalen Hurts and saying, he's great. He's a phenomenal athlete and he can beat you with his legs, with his arms, and with his mind. I agree, but I think that Sean McVay, being the leader that he is, has prepared for this. I mean, I can only imagine how many times he's watched that tape.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. The Rams. Yeah, so I feel good about that. Rams plus 3.5. Let's move on. Jets Buccaneers. The line could be minus 16.5. I'd probably still take it. I think that this is a Bucs show up and show out game. I think that Tyrod Taylor and the Jets are going to have a real tough time. I think this could be a 3-picks game. This is a no-brainer for me. I'm taking the Bucs with a touchdown. I would take it at 9.5, honestly.
Yeah, especially with Tyrod Taylor. Yeah, I think
talk about inspiring.
Baker Mayfield, stud.
Inspiring very little confidence. Now, Baker and Tyrod Taylor played together on my Cleveland Browns years ago, so they know each other. But Tyrod Taylor wasn't inspiring 5 years ago with the Browns. He's not inspiring now. I don't see it. I can't believe that if you're the Jets and you have Justin Fields, who's a crazy, ballsy runner, that you don't have a better backup QB than Tyrod Taylor.
I mean, they have Carson Wentz out there, right? He was a free agent at some point.
Yeah.
This last year.
Yeah, I don't know exactly who I would want them to have, but I would want them to have someone that, you got to expect that Fields is going to miss 2 to 5 games this year at least. And he might miss 2-3 games right now with this concussion. I don't know how bad it is. Pretty confident taking the Bucs here. Last game of the early window, Steelers-Patriots. A lot of talk about this game. This is going to be an important one for both of these teams for their seasons. Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, both teams are 1-1. I think both teams won against good teams relatively. Actually, no, the Steelers beat the Jets and got beat by the Seahawks. The Patriots lost to the Raiders and then beat up on the Finns. So the Patriots played kind of 2 bad teams, at least in my estimation. This is the best team that they've played. We were talking before the show that Ramondre Stevenson has proven to the world that he is an elite running back with that game last week. That over-the-shoulder catch, Drake Maye threw a perfect ball along the sideline, led him. Stevenson caught it in front of him and had room to run, cut back infield. That's what the Patriots' offense is and has been. If the Patriots are going to win this game, Drake Maye is going to have some gutsy runs, right? Right? Like if I'm betting on my on like props bets, I'm taking Drake Maye rushing over and Drake Maye to run in for a touchdown because they're going to sit back and cover and say that the Patriots don't have an elite wide receiver who's going to, and they don't. An elite wide receiver.
I've got Booty.
Yeah, he's not elite. He's just not. Their leading receiver was Ramondre last week. Second leading receiver was Austin Hooper.
They
Stephon
have
Diggs,
Diggs, but I mean,
but he's not really been a downfield threat.
Yeah.
And I think that's
it's not his role.
Yeah, he's going to be underneath.
He's going to be red zone.
Booty had a big game against the Raiders, but again, Hunter Henry is the second. It's a tight end heavy offense, so they're going to say beat us. Beat us with your athleticism. You're not going to beat us. You're not going to be open down the field. Steelers defense has looked bad, and they're going to come out with a lot to play for. This is a toss-up game that I will defer to you on your pick. I really don't know who's going to win this or what either of these teams really are. I don't think we've seen what either of these teams really are.
Yeah, I think that this is a hard game.
Nearly impossible.
It's a tough one. It really leans either way. I think that, honestly, I want to say Patriots. Just the way that Drake Maye has been playing. And
an interesting note, the Steelers' next game is in Ireland against the Minnesota Vikings. So right after this game, they're going to be hopping on a plane and flying to Ireland to play what we would assume to be not J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings. In New England's next game is against Carolina at home. So they have two games at home, Steelers and then the Panthers. Man, I really don't know. I could go either way here. In my head, I'm thinking, if this is a boxing match, I'm taking the younger, hotter fighter. I love Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going to win some games. I think I'm going Patriots here.
Yeah.
At home, +2. I'd take him straight up. I think that's where we're at. That's the end of our early window. There you have it. Falcons, Bengals, Packers, Texans, Colts, Commies, Rams, Buccaneers, and Patriots. Let's head into the afternoon. It's Sunday. We're going to have our iced coffee. It's 1 o'clock. Scott Hansen's already had the witching hour. And we're into the afternoon slate of games with a good one. Man, this might be the game of the week. The Broncos are traveling to Los Angeles to play the Chargers. -2.5. The Chargers are favorites. Some people would say the Chargers are one of the hottest teams in football, despite their lack of a clear running game with Hampton and Najee. I think, in my eyes, I look at that and go, it hasn't worked yet. It's going to work. Man.
I don't even know if it needs to work. I mean, the way that these wide receivers are playing, I was talking to one of my Chargers friends this week, and I said, it's really impressive how it's just not like Justin Herbert doesn't really put them on the 1 yard line. He either scores from 10 yards out or they kick a field goal with Dicker.
They have a lot of ways to beat you, and Dicker's an amazing kicker, and that's an underrated thing. We haven't talked about the Cowboys yet, but their kicker might be the best player on their team.
And this wouldn't be the first year either.
Yeah. And, the Chargers are a good team all around, but having Dicker as that asset at the end of halves, at the end of the game, to kick a 50-yarder and be like almost guaranteed, especially at home, indoors. It's going to be 75 degrees and sunny with no wind. It's perfect conditions for this Chargers team. Man, the Broncos, I get worried about sophomore slump Bo Nix. I think that some of the magic from last year is gone. I think that Cortland Sutton is not. He's had in my eyes, watching the game, I haven't been impressed watching him. People forget, how old do you think Calvin Ridley is?
I mean, I want to say 28, 29.
31.
31.
Okay. And Cortland Sutton's turning 30 this year. And they've kind of had similar game tape for me, where they don't. There are balls in their radius a couple of years ago that you would say Sutton makes that ridiculous catch, and just balls that he's going for and not catching. They have Troy Franklin, played with Bo Nix at Oregon, hell of a college football player. J.K. Dobbins has been a pleasant surprise in the backfield. Obviously, they have Harvey there. They're going to try to incorporate. I look at Dobbins is the power and Harvey could be the speed on the outside. This is two teams that should be playoff teams. And, man, the Chiefs are looking across the division and going, fuck, everyone kind of caught up a little bit. The Broncos and Chargers look like two playoff teams. Right? I mean, right? Like, and if you're the Chiefs, you're like, is there still, are we getting squeezed out of here?
Yeah, I think, the Broncos and the Chargers, and as we mentioned, the Raiders, not quite yet. We need to see a little bit more out of them. But, yeah, I feel like the Broncos and the Chargers are definitely at the top of the division, and Chargers lead that one for sure.
I'm going to take the Chargers -2.5 to win by a field goal. I think that this is going to be a really close, really great game. I could see this going to overtime.
I could see that as well. Yeah, and I know it's going to be competitive because they're in the same division. That's just
this game means a
these
lot.
Games go.
Yeah.
And with two good coaches. So
this is one where if I was betting points, I would bet the over, right? I think that this feels like a 28-31 type of game, which would it'd be close, but it would be the over.
Yeah.
It is a relatively high over now that I'm looking at it.
It is. 46 is pretty high.
Yeah. So now a little bit less sexy of a game. Sammy Darnold at home taking on the Saints. Our tier list, we had the Saints at the bottom. We said, I don't see how they're going to win more than 3 games max. This is not a game that they're going to win. The question is, can they be competitive? Can they keep it close? Or can the Seahawks, in my head, this game is pretty simple. This game is going to be like an early big throw to JSN, an early big run by Kenny Walker. Charbonnet's not going to play. Maybe they get one of those fun Seahawk receivers like Bobo involved.
Cooper
Kupp keeps a Copper Cup. He had a really good game last week, 7 for 90 yards. Torrey Horton, I think he has 2 touchdown catches. Is that crazy? Or just one?
Sounds a little wild.
He has 1. He did not catch a ball week 1, but he did catch a touchdown last week against the Steelers. Sammy Darnold had 2 picks against a tough Steelers team, but so did Aaron Rodgers. So they give him, but they get him back.
Do we see Jalen Milroe just waiting in that shadow, or
no?
Do we want to see him?
Week 1, drive 1, Milroe got in, ran a ball for 1 carry for 1 yard, and we haven't really seen him since. Over the course of the season, as someone who has picked the Seahawks to do very, very well, maybe overslid my skis a little bit, but I picked him to be a top of the division, top of the conference team. I want to see Milroe run the ball a little bit. I want to see a wildcat formation package where he runs the ball 3 times, and then on the 4th one, he picks it up and throws a deep ball to Cooper Kupp or something. This is a big win for the Seahawks. The question is 7 points. It's got to be 7 points. I mean, worst case scenario, they win by 7.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't see a lot going on with the Saints offense. I think if you own Chris Olave in fantasy, you're not thrilled. I mean, he's been putting up very average numbers.
Yeah,
and,
he's getting a lot of catches, but
he's getting
not
a lot of
targets.
I mean, the first week he got 13 targets, and he got 10 targets last week.
And those 13 targets led to how many yards?
To 54. So
it's,
not a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's nothing to get excited about. If you take the names off and you go, who is that? It's not something to be too excited about.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara obviously is, prime time, showtime, fun to watch. But he's got some, he's like Ramondre Stevenson on the old Patriots. He's an elite player on a terrible team. And so we move on to the late afternoon games where we have Cardinals against backup quarterback Mac Jones. Don't call me Mackenzie.
Mac.
Kyler Murray and the Cardinals are 2-0. Is that right? That's right. I mean,
That is right.
I know I looked this up 3 minutes ago, but they beat the Saints and they beat the Panthers. So they're 2-0 against bad teams. And now they're traveling to San Francisco, Santa Clara, to see Mac Jones, Kyle Shanahan, Christian McCaffrey, Ricky Pearsall, and the boys. I think for me, this is a no-brainer based on what we saw with Mac Jones last week. Kyler Murray can he's like a circus watching this kid run around.
Yeah.
It's like 50 yards running back and forth to get an 8-yard gain. That's great. It's not sustainable. I'll tell you what is sustainable. Turn around, hand the ball to Christian McCaffrey. Hand the ball to Brian Robinson. Use some play action, and now we're tossing it up to Richard Pearsall. Right? Firing at him, so to speak.
Yeah, I think, I think the 49ers, especially, I mean, their defense hasn't looked great, but I think it's enough to put the Cardinals to rest.
Yeah, we were talking about how bad the Saints are. They got over 300 yards against the Niners defense. We talk about the Seattle Seahawks in their first game, only 230 yards, only $150 passing. So they were able to shut down the Seahawks. Not that we picked a lot of favorites in a row here. Actually, no. Okay, I feel better now looking. This is like, obviously they're a better team. That's why they're favorites. Are they 2.5 points better? I think yes. Where do you stand?
I think yes.
That's easy. And we're moving on to the Dallas Cowboys against the Chicago Bears. This one is a head scratcher too. Is there a reason why the Chicago Bears are only 1.5 underdogs against the Dallas Cowboys? Are the Cowboys bad or are the Bears good?
Well, we saw what happened last week with the Giants, right? I think everyone saw that.
That's a divisional game. And we talked about divisional games getting the best out of bad teams in divisional games. They show up for that. The Giants showed up. Man, I don't think anyone saw that coming, that they were 5.5 point underdogs. They lost by 3 in overtime. I don't think anyone predicted that they were going to show up like that. Certainly not the Cowboys. But are the Bears capable of putting enough points on the board to stop CeeDee Lamb and who's running the ball there, who's looked pretty good? Javonte Williams. And Dak has been systematic and doing his job. Defense isn't great, but, man, the Bears have just looked miserable.
Yeah. I think, you have to mash that. I think, you just have to match that. I think that the defense for Dallas, definitely not looking great, but the offense for the Bears equally as bad. I think maybe you get a squeeze out of Odunze and Moore.
Odunze has looked great, and DJ Moore is a great player. We know that. We haven't seen it yet. They used a first-round draft pick on Colston Loveland.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
He has not caught a ball yet.
Oh.
Loveland ski area in Colorado.
Loveland.
Colston. He has not caught a pass yet.
Not even popping up.
In the NFL. The Bears are just a dumpster fire, man. I'd love for it to be competitive. I'd love for this to be a good game. I think it's going to be a snooze fest. I think it's going to be like 20-3 and just a bore. And people are going to start to say, oh, maybe Ben Johnson can't fix Caleb Williams.
No. I think Caleb Williams should have not had all that hype, should have been developed properly.
Shouldn't have been thrown into the fire. We've
mentioned that quite sometimes, and his ego got in the way too. They made a whole documentary on him. It's too much. You're playing with the guy's mind at this point.
And the Bears are bad vibes, and they're playing at home now in front of like some of the most haterish fans in football. I think that imagine if they go down early, the fans are going to turn on them. If they go down early and then they look ugly and go for a 3 and out, the fans are going to be booing. They're going to be getting up to go get a beer. They're going to be, not loud when Dallas has the ball. I think this feels like a pretty easy one.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. I think at 1.5, you have to smash Dallas.
Smash the money line and smash it all. They're going to probably win that game. That's crazy that's the line. I would have that line at like 3.5.
Yeah.
Sunday night football, the 0-2 Kansas City Chiefs against I want to say the Giants are 0-2. So someone will win a game. Someone will be 0-2.
Battle of the bottom.
Battle of the bottoms, just like we all thought. Kansas City against New York Giants was going to be 0-2 teams. Kansas City is a 6-point favorite. They're going to get off the schneid. They're going to win a football game. The question is, are they going to win a football game in a blowout? Or are the Giants going to show some life? Did the Giants blow all the gas in the whole Russell Wilson tank? Did they blow it all last week? Is there anything left? Is Scattaboo just a good vibes guy, or is he a good football player in the NFL level?
Yep.
Haven't seen a lick out of Tyrone Tracy, who was amazing last year.
Yep.
Haven't seen a huge play out of Malik Neighbors that I can remember.
He balled out really hard last
week. That's right.
He went. I was gonna say he went almost toe for toe. I was in a league, 2 leagues, and I had Neighbors, and the other person had Amon-Ra.
Right.
And ended up going toe for toe. Literally both scoring like 40 points in fantasy and standard PPR. And yeah, he just looks great. And it was a lot of garbage time, I will say that.
Right.
But some of the stretches that he made in the end zone, and just really, like, he's a fighter. When it comes down to it, if Russ throws that ball up there and it's debatable, Neighbors is going to lay out for it. He's going to do everything he can to win.
Yeah, like Pickens was last year. He's a good moonshot Russ Wilson ball candidate. I didn't realize that the Giants scored 21 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And that Dallas scored 20 points in the fourth quarter.
Crazy.
So that game,
and the overtime was nuts.
I was kind of flipping between games by the time that this one was ending. And so I remember the lasting memory was the snooze fest of the first 3 quarters. And then it was like boom, 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 highlight after highlight of huge plays for Malik and company. And what's his name? Wan'Dale Robinson, who is a legitimate NFL receiver. Small guy, but like really, really good, fast. He was what Darius Slayton used to be, I think. That's crazy stat lines, man. When you throw for 450, you're going to have some crazy stat lines.
Yeah.
On the Cowboys side.
And they even brought in Jackson Dart as well, I think, on like the last play.
Jackson Dart just ran. He didn't throw any passes.
He just ran it.
He ran one for -3 yards. But
it's good to see him out there.
Yes. And I think that I think the crowd liked it. I think the team liked it. Russ is fine with it. I think it's like a good vibes tribe. Yeah. I think, man, even just the power of having Jameis Winston, right?
I think so. I think they brought him in that locker room just for that.
And the vibes are killer, and that's kind of a result of like a good vibes team. That said, Chiefs probably win this by 2 touchdowns, right? Or
I don't think so. This is going to be my hot take. My hot take is that the Giants. I don't see Mahomes. We've seen Mahomes really play a good pace of game against teams, and this year he does not seem like that same Mahomes. And his cadence, like, they're not going to just blow teams out. They've never really just blown teams out except for the first year with Tyreek and Hunt. And so I think, I don't know, I think the Giants have a little more.
So this could be, I could see this being a game-winning Chiefs. Like the Chiefs keep it closer than it has to be, and the Chiefs get a field goal to win it. I don't hate that 6-point spread.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. If they're down by 2 touchdowns and the Giants score late and get a 2-point conversion or something. I don't hate it. Yeah, the Giants are going to have some good moxie, and we'll find out in the first quarter, I think. In the first quarter, if Russ throws a pick, it'll deflate the team, and they'll go, okay, that was a one-time thing.
But you got to also think, Joe, were the Chiefs close? If Travis Kelce didn't drop that pass right in his hands, did the Chiefs almost have that game?
Against the Eagles?
Against the Eagles, but, like, this has just been a different Chiefs offense that seems frustrated, seems like they're just not clicking.
They're definitely frustrated.
But to see them go 0-3 also is...
That seems impossible.
That seems impossible.
This might be the first game that they actually have Xavier Worthy playing.
Yeah. X going to give it to you?
X going to give it to you. I don't know how much they're going to give him. If it was me, I wouldn't play him. I would give him another week in the sling to get stronger because he is just like a player who turns up field and gets hit, jet sweeps in the middle of the field sometimes. I'm fine with that being our kind of our bold take of the day.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to blow them out. Chiefs, yeah. I think that's too high. I feel pretty good about that. I think it's going to be a close game, closer than everyone else thinks.
Okay, last but not least, we have the Detroit Lions traveling to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. The Ravens absolutely decimated my Brownies last week. They destroyed them. The Lions absolutely decimated the Bears last week.
True.
They destroyed them. This is going to be an amazing game. I can't wait. I hope the Mannings are going to be on. This is what Monday nights are all about.
Yeah. Jared
Goff and Lamar Jackson. So many names. Hammer the over. Look at that over 53. There's going to be, hopefully, fireworks, right? And lots of touchdowns and lots of good football. Or it could be a snooze fest run game where Derrick Henry gets 200 yards and not a snooze fest, but just a more low key. Both teams trying to possess it. They're not airing it out, throwing deep. I think the Lions have established that they've stopped doing that. The Lions are like, no, we're going to throw deep balls to Jameson Williams. We're going to throw 30-yard in routes to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Our line is so good that Goff is going to stand there for 5 seconds while the dudes get downfield and throw darts downfield. His vertical passing game is just amazing. And the running game, obviously, two-headed monster with Swift and Montgomery. We haven't seen them at the full capacity like we did this time last year. But Baltimore's kind of they're a bend but don't break defense. And I think that the Lions are going to be able to move the ball here. Baltimore scored 41 last week. Lions scored 52. This is going to be a great game. This is one you can't pick this. If you do, I'd say that you pick Lions +5 just because that's a lot of points. And this is a Monday night game that you think is going to be close.
Yeah.
But I would, I'm keeping my money in my wallet here in terms of picking a winner of this game. To me, that pick just represents a close game. Could go either way. Lions could win that game easily.
They definitely could.
Nothing more motivating than being slept on to the extent that the Lions are like, is it over? Did we overhype them? Nah, dude, Lions are going to come out swinging.
Yeah, we've seen both teams, too, just come out and, fourth quarter, light it up. I think Lamar has that deep ball threat. I think Jared Goff has Amon-Ra, and, they always just quick.
So
they're
good.
ready to, boom. If they need to convert on third down, they're really good at that. I think it's going to be a high-level game.
I would hammer on my props betting.
Yeah,
I would hammer Jameson Williams yards. I think that they are just going to throw deep balls to J-Mo.
And Zay Flowers.
And Zay Flowers probably too.
Yeah.
All right, let's go over it real quick.
Who was the wide receiver on the Ravens last week that was some person I've never heard?
And he's a good player, and he's had some big plays in the playoffs last year. We are, of course, talking about the young man Devontae Walker, 81. I was thinking Tylan Wallace had that huge play last year. He caught a touchdown. Devontae Walker caught 2 passes for 26 yards. They were both touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an awesome stat line. DeAndre Hopkins, 2 catches, 64
Hopkins,
yards,
total
and a
revival.
touchdown.
We like that. Yeah.
Total revival, man.
Are you thinking if you see him in your fantasy league, is that someone that maybe you look at?
No, because his PPR, if it's a standard and you're not
Yeah.
getting points per receptions, then yes.
I mean, 2 receptions for a 64. That's
touchdown.
great as a player, but
if it's not,
not-
if you get
not
stopped
too
at the
reliable.
1-yard line, then that's only 8 points.
especially when you have Derrick Henry and Lamar on the team, they could just run the game script, could just run. But this game,
But also, game script, when you have Derrick Henry, I would put Hopkins out there and put my jumbo package on and then throw, and knowing that he's going to be one-on-one. This dude is like a 6'6" animal monster, one of
Yeah.
the strongest receivers. I would just throw 3 straight, like there's a thing on Twitter of like
the jump balls. He's
against
so
jump balls.
good.
It's like no one gets jump balls except for like 2 or 3 dudes. And like he's one of the dudes that can get jump balls.
I mean, like prime. Think about prime Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
I bet he didn't even see Hopkins. He would just throw it up there.
Yeah,
and
100%.
Hopkins would just snag it. It was crazy. Those
100%.
were insane. Also, I think Isaiah Likely, is he coming back?
I
this
am
week?
not
Is
sure.
that
Let's
his-
do a quick Google search here.
I thought I heard something, down the grapevine, but wanna,
likely. Return to practice. Me limited isn't helping anybody, he says. Considering the long game as he moves closer to return, I think that this is feeling like he's not going to play this week, but that he'll play next week.
and he's gonna come out strong.
Yes, he's
what
an
it sounds
amazing,
like.
underrated, super underrated dude. Once Mark Andrews finally retires, if he ever does, it's going to be Isaiah
The
Likely's
Travis
show.
Kelce of the Ravens.
Yeah, really. These tight ends, man, just hang on forever. All right, so let's just go through Falcons, Bengals, Packers, Texans.
Go a little slower.
Colts.
That way, next time when we.
That way when we're going through.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Yep.
Okay.
Bengals versus
That
Vikings.
Bengals-Viking games is going to be fun.
It's gonna be fun.
Backup quarterbacks, you never know.
Packers are gonna
Packers at
smash.
Browns, but you got to watch because there are a lot of fantasy implications there. On the Browns team, like Harold Fannin, I'm starting Harold Fannin. And on one
And
league, I'm
Judkins.
starting Fannin. Actually, no, it depends on if Kraft is alive. If Kraft is playing, I'll play him. But if not, I'll play Fannin.
Yeah.
And in another league where I went like no running backs, I'm starting Quinshon Judkins over Tyron Tracy.
Not
Those
a
are
bad
my-
call.
those are my
I
options.
would definitely do that, especially
It's a
with
12-man league.
Scatterboo coming up.
And
Also,
Tracy's questionable.
what is the deal with Golden?
Golden's great, but they're not going to throw the ball to him 10 times in a game yet. He still is like a special play kind of guy. They're going to throw deep balls to him. And we're wrapping up here soon. But yeah, Golden will develop and be a great player there, but maybe not right now.
Yeah.
Okay, and we got Colts 4.5 over the Titans. I feel good about that. Mariota game here.
Mariota.
And Rams underdogs. You love to see it.
I love to see it. Yeah. I mean, and rightfully so. Eagles are a great team.
Yeah.
Can't deny that. If we could stop that stupid tush push, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay, we got our Bucks over our Jets at home. That's going to be a good vibes game there. Steelers Patriots is going to be a good game. It's a toss up.
Toss up. I think Patriots, but yeah, toss up. And then also for the Chargers, like, what is this with Johnston? I mean, is this sustainable? Is he actually?
Is it the real deal?
Is he that good, or
They got
is
him
he
in the
just
first round to
open
be that
because
guy.
Lad McConkey, Keenan Allen.
Sometimes
all
it takes
these-
a little time.
Yeah, yeah. Big play guy. Big play guy.
Yeah. Seahawks. I'm cheering for him. I think I'm cheering for QT. Cutie. No, QJ. Quentin Johnson.
Yeah.
Damn, Cutie would be a great nickname. We got the Seahawks -7. Big spread game. Backup quarterback game.
Dallas, you got to think why?
right?
1.5.
One of the few games we lost last week was when we overthought this and we said, "Oh, maybe they know something about the Dolphins that we don't know," and we lost that game. We're not doing that again. This is a great one, and there's some higher spread ones that we're picking both of these just to be close games. Not necessarily that we think the Giants and Lions will win, but that we think it will stay close.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gents, friends and family, thanks for spending some time with us.
Thank you.
We'll be back next week. Drop a comment. Let us know if you disagree, if you agree, if you tailed us and you won some cash. Send me a
Get in on
Venmo.
that. Yeah.
We're your friendly neighborhood experts. I think
True.
I think this week, after going 11-4 last week, we became
The dynamic duo.
experts.
That's right. Stay tuned.
Go Bucks. God bless America.
Goodbye.
Go Rams. Goodbye.